Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. Today on the show, I interview Arianna Smith. She's originally American, but has been playing in Paris and all over the world for many years now as a classically trained violinist. We listen to what it's like to play for the prestigious Paris Opera and much more. So welcome to the show, Arianna.
Thanks for having me. I'm really happy. This is my first podcast ever.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We met through a mutual friend, Molly, who's fantastic, our little Versailles chef. Yeah. And now I finally get to talk to you about your work in Paris, which is fascinating, by the way.
Me.
I'm all about you. So I want to talk a little bit about the first moment you chose the violin. So why the violin? What did the beginning look like?
Oh, we're going way back to the beginning. I grew up, so neither of my parents are musicians, but my older brother and sister started piano. My brother was not the most athletic, let's say, so I think he kind of found music very early on. And he played piano, drums, and saxophone. And my sister started also piano, violin, harp. And so I grew up already in a very musical family. There was always music around me. And apparently at 4 years old, I went to my mom and I was like, I want to play the violin. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it started. And already from 4 years old, I kind of sold my soul. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of came to me so naturally. And at 9 years old, I was already kind of doing a lot of chamber music, orchestras, going to summer camps. And I already really knew that that's what I wanted to do with my life.
That's crazy. At 4 years old, you're like, Mom, I want to do this really difficult instrument.
I know. And I think she was like, are you sure?
Don't you want to just go play soccer or something?
Yeah. But I think it was great for me because neither my brother nor my sister continued with music. I'm the only one. But I think there's something when you find your calling, it just the violin just fit my body. It just became an extension of me, which is crazy. Now it's weird. Even when I go somewhere without my violin, I'm like, wait, I feel so empty. Wait, I feel so light. What's happening? I'm missing something.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I love that. Because not many children can say they continued the path. Kids are like, I want to be an astronaut, and you're like, I want to play the violin, and I play in Paris and all around the world now, which is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I have to kudos to my mother because I think I was a little brat and of course didn't want to put the actual work into it. And she was like, no, you got to stick with it. So I have to shout out to Mama Susanna, wherever she is. Because I think she really taught me determination and sticking with something and not quitting. And it's definitely thanks to her that I'm at the level that I am. So
yeah, you've started from birth, so you should be
yes.
good right now.
Yeah, not bad.
So talk about those first years of training. You went to the Colburn Conservatory.
The Colburn School, yeah, Colburn School. Well, I mean, I started in Chicago, and I mean, really, I was out in the boonies. So I think my parents are always laughing because they're like, how did this even happen? Where did you come from? Because there's no reason why this random prodigy would come out of the the farmlands of Illinois. And yeah, like even at my local middle school and everything, like I really had a gift, and that was obvious to everybody. And so I started actually going to Chicago for private lessons at the Music Institute. And like my Saturdays were all taken up with like music theory and orchestra and master classes and stuff. And then at 16, I already wanted to graduate, and I went to Los Angeles and continued on my way. And then from LA, I wanted to come to Paris. And, you know, I think in life, like everything happens for a reason. And this weird little path that I was on has like brought me to where I am today. And yeah. And like all the teachers I've had have like brought me to where I am today too.
So
Um,
why Paris?
I I was in LA. And, you know, from Chicago, I could have chosen the Juilliard School in New York. And I chose to go to Colburn because of the teacher that was there, Paul Coletti. And for me, he's like my all-time, he's my guru. Like he's the person who taught me music, and creativity and how to express yourself. And I don't know. After him, I just was like, I feel like not that I've like learned everything and I'm good to go, but I definitely felt like, okay, I feel like I am a musician, like I'm an artist. I felt like he really helped me find myself. And I kind of just like always wanted to go to Europe and see um, what like Europe had to teach me as well. And I feel like, um, getting philosophical here, I feel like when you're an artist, any kind of artist, but especially a musician, like it's so important to travel, and it's so important to like, I mean, classical music was born here, you know, so like it's so important to come here and like see what the school is here of classical music and like actually live where like the Sacre de Printemps from Stravinsky was like premiered and stuff. And there's like definitely something very like spiritually strong about music here in Europe. So I feel like anybody, even if it's just for like 2 months or whatever, I feel like they need to come and just experience that. And vice versa, also, like people who are in Europe or Asia or wherever, like I feel like it's just so important to travel and just get that experience of like another cultural background and like bring that into your music.
Definitely. I mean, what was it like with the music education in France compared to the US? Was it very different from what you were learning there?
Yeah, it was very, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, to be honest, because I did grow up with like two Hungarian teachers in Chicago, and my teacher in LA was Italian and Scottish. So, like, again, what is America? Because it is kind of like a hodgepodge of everything. So I definitely already had those like European backgrounds. But I mean, there's something about the American school which is, you know, very um technical. So like everybody plays technically incredible, like very amazing technicians. But we don't talk about music history enough in America. Like when you play a piece, you kind of don't think about where the composer was when he wrote that piece and like why he wrote that piece. Was he like, was it the last piece he composed, for example? Like, was he in a near-death experience? Did he just lose his sister? There's so many things that go into composing and writing a piece. Just like even in pop music, you know, most of them are breakup songs. But like, if you don't understand that heartache or even Shostakovich, like the political issues he was dealing with at that time, like it's so important. And we don't really talk about that enough in America. So I felt when I came to Europe, the technique was lacking, but the storytelling was just incredible. that make sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And like you said, you're literally like living it. Like you're in the places these people were, these
Yeah,
actors, and it's just you can't help but be affected by that.
exactly. It's so strong.
And talk a little bit about that. You briefly touched on that in the beginning of the show about like how you got taught to be creative. I mean, you guys are learning these classical pieces, these very technical pieces, like you said. Like, where does the creativity come in for you? Like, are you allowed to write your own music? You know, is that like something common for you guys, or like how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly, I guess what you could call me is like an interpreter because I don't really write my own music. I'm more like interpreting pieces that were already played. And it's actually really funny because my sister-in-law, she's not at all into classical music, but she's very much like a theater kid and loves music. And a couple years ago, she was like, "Well, you're kind of just like a cover band." And I was like, "What?" And I was so offended. And then I was like, "Oh, but actually, you're so right. Like, we're playing pieces that were written like 200 years ago or more. And so many people have played them before us. Like, why are we today still playing them?" But I think like that's what's so incredible about music is like me, I'm gonna play something and I'm gonna interpret it completely differently from another musician. And it's not gonna be the same piece. Does that make sense?
Yeah, talk about that. I'm very curious about that. Like, how is it different?
I mean, it's kind of like, for example, my teacher in LA, one of the first things he said to me, he was like, "Okay, we're in LA. We're in the mountains." It was at a music festival. And he was just like, "Ariana, you're 16 years old. You haven't lived. You need to go into the forest and just like he's very spiritual, a little
Obviously.
crazy sometimes, but like he was like, you need to go into the forest and like just open yourself up to like the world and the sounds, and like you need to let yourself experience things." And then he even was like, you need to like stop practicing so much and actually go and live life, because if you live life, that will help your music. And I think that was like one of the biggest lessons he taught me. Like even having like boyfriends or friendships, like or the relationship with my parents, like everything in your life affects you and your emotions and your creativity. Like all of those things make me who I am. And that makes me very different from you, for example. Like we have lived completely different lives. And so if we both looked at the same phrase in music or like the same lines in music, we would interpret it completely differently.
And when it comes to interpreting, it could be like how loud it is or the notes even. Like
Yeah,
how can it be played differently?
we're getting technical.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, it can be so many things. It can be how tender it is. It can be how, um, like, yeah, you can read the same thing and it can be full of anger, or it can be full of like sadness, or it can be full of vibrato and passion, or it can be very still and pale, and everyone can see it differently, you know?
Yeah. So like for example, we could have you and like a couple other violinists play the exact same song, but it would sound
Yeah,
different. But we would know the
complete.
song.
Yeah, exactly.
I never knew that because I am by no means a classical music expert.
Yeah.
And so it would be really fascinating for me to like listen to the same song played by multiple people and really hear the differences because it is the same song, but it's your own take. Like you said, like with your that person saying the cover band thing, that's hilarious. Like you're like a 200-year-old cover band. Like
Yeah.
it's
But
true.
like you listen to several covers and like everybody does it differently and has their own take on it, and one may speak to you more than others, and like we all have our own personality. And I feel like through any art, but like especially on stage, I feel like you see someone's personality the like clearest,
Yeah.
if they're genuine, which like is another topic, but like I feel the best musicians are the most genuine, the most sincere, and I feel like that's what can make you cry in a live concert is like when you're like feeling their emotions.
Yeah, when you can tell. I mean, I think as human beings, we can tell what's genuine and what's not. It's like we just
Yes.
know it naturally, and it's not
Yeah.
like a special talent. And you definitely connect with some artists more than others.
Yeah, and that's why like also, I mean, it's another subject. It's like, um, why go to a live concert when you can just hear a perfect rendition of it at your home where it's been recorded and like every mistake has been like erased and it's because like when you're in a concert hall or in a salon or whatever, a small space, or in a big concert hall, it also can happen but when you're in the same room and you're hearing somebody perform live and seeing them and seeing like their emotions also, and I mean, you can really get goosebumps.
Yeah,
And
no.
you can also feel it in the audience. Like you feel the audience members are connected as well.
Yeah, that must be like interesting for you too, to be feeling your own emotions with the music and how you're interpreting it, and then also feeling the emotions of the audience coming at you.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on stage, you feel when the audience is like connected with you. It's amazing and it's a power. Like the audience has a power. They can take it away from you, you know? They can give it to you or they can just be like, okay, we're not feeling this, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so funny. Like, yeah, I never thought about that. And a lot of times you guys are down in that little hole, in front of the stage. Like, how does that feel? Because sometimes you're right on stage, you are the main event, and then sometimes you're playing for a show, you're playing for the opera. Like, how does that affect you differently with feeling?
Oh, I mean, it's completely different. It's like, I mean, it's like black and white. Yeah, because like when you're on stage, you are like, first of all, 20 times more nervous because people can see you if you make a mistake. It's higher stakes. You're also, there's more adrenaline, you have more energy. It's exhausting. Like when I play on stage and I do a 2 hour show, I mean, you leave and you have to take a shower because you're just like, wow, I
Sweating.
gave everything. Yeah. Um, but like when you're like last night, I was in the pit and I mean, it's just fun. It depends, of course, who you're playing with, but I mean, it's low stakes. I mean, obviously you shouldn't be making mistakes, but it happens in a 3 hour opera. It can happen. But I think it's a lot more fun. For me, I like playing in the pit because you're just really focused on the music and you're actually less focused on yourself. You kind of take yourself out of the picture because you're not seen. So actually, the public is only getting the audio. You know what I mean? So they're just
Yeah.
getting the music from you. They're not getting you as an interpreter and as a artist. They're really just getting like, okay, the music as part of the show, which is very different for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the same reason we don't record video for this podcast. Because like we can
Yeah.
focus on the words. We're not worried about what we look like. We're just,
Yeah,
sharing our
that
lives.
I love that because yes, as you know, I am not camera ready today. So
So talk about what the average week looks like as a full-time violinist in Paris, like rehearsals, gigs, teaching, like how does it all fit together?
um it's it varies, to be honest. Every week looks a bit different because I'm freelance. So for some other musicians, it can be more regular. Like, for example, somebody who's full-time at the opera every week kind of looks more or less the same, with rehearsals during the day and shows at night. But me, since I'm freelance, I every week is like, okay, wait, what's happening this week? And even sometimes it's like, where am I going this week? Because I'm actually on tour quite a lot. This month I was in Rome and Verona and a lot in Italy, actually. And I'm going to Berlin soon. And Yeah, I'm go and breast. It sounds weird to say in English,
Yeah.
breast. Um, so yeah, every week can look very differently, and like I'm always kind of playing with different ensembles also. So like sometimes I'll be playing, for example, this week I'm playing at the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées, in a opera production with a Baroque orchestra. So I have to even change my instrument. Um, and so like this week, for example, we have shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I have to get ready for stuff I have next week because I have some chamber music ensembles. So that's just five of us. So it's like you're constantly just having to like prepare the next production while you're still kind of working on the one you're currently doing. Sorry, I'm rambling. I don't
No,
know.
yeah, but it's so true. I mean, your schedule is constantly changing. I mean, for most people, it would be like, what the heck? Like, what country am I going to be in? What is this song? And
Yeah,
talk about that too. Like, what is the difference between like Baroque versus, chamber versus, tell us what are the differences?
yeah. I mean, chamber groups are like anybody, so like from a duo, so just like two people to probably around like nine or 10 people, then it kind of starts to become an ensemble. But chamber music is like really intimate. It's like I mean, I do a lot of string quartet, so that's just four people. It's two violins, viola, and cello. And uh, string quartet and chamber music was really created for like salons, so small kind of get-togethers. I mean, we're really talking bourgeois parties, but like, yeah, where, people would just be playing and having fun. And that was like the kind of pop music back then. And so it's really meant to be like lived in smaller spaces where you can really feel the sweat. And then you have ensembles. So I play in this Baroque ensemble. So that's like period instruments. Um, so meaning we have like completely different instruments that are with gut strings, um, and they sound the sound is completely different. It sounds like very raw, actually, rather than very metallic. So it's hard to explain, but
Yeah, it's
there's like
fascinating.
yeah, there's a completely different sound to a Baroque violin or viola versus a modern violin or viola. And it's actually quite hard to play as well. So you really have to um you have to learn, like relearn almost how to get the sound from the instrument. It's a completely different like approach to sound. But that's something that I was very interested in learning because like I love working on sound and like how to produce sound and how to make it warmer, how to make it brighter, how to make the instrument, which is wood, like resonate as like naturally and as best that it can. And in Baroque, I feel like that's really possible because the instrument allows it. Um,
Yeah, and these instruments cost a small fortune. Like I was shocked when I learned
yes.
how much a violin can cost. Like, how do you even afford these things? It's crazy. And you have to have multiple for different sounds.
Yeah, I mean, I think string instruments are of the most expensive in an orchestra. I mean, of course, you have harp and piano, which are extremely uh, out of my budget. But yeah, I mean, everyone is different. You can have foundations that also help. Um, I mean, I guess that's one of the reasons why people think that classical music is kind of elite because not everyone can afford to have these kinds of instruments. But there are a lot of amazing programs that are trying to bring instruments to everybody so that anyone can learn to play an instrument. Um,
So talk a little bit about the non-glamorous side of being a musician.
what are the horrible things about being a musician? I mean, to be honest, it's very stressful. It's definitely not for everybody. Um, even for myself, like I have had moments where I've had physical pain, where I can't sleep because I'm so anxious about a concert that's going to be filmed and live on TV or the internet or the radio. Um, it's it definitely takes a toll on my body. That's for sure. And also, I mean, for example, last week I was rehearsing 6 hours a day straight, of course, with little breaks and stuff, but like 6 hours straight every day. And you just get out of those rehearsals and you just like, it's hard on your back, it's hard on your arms. It's also hard mentally because you're concentrating so hard for so long. And I think on top of that, when you have to travel, when you have like a 9 hour train ride and then a show, and then you're sleeping in a random cheap hotel where the bed is horrible, and then you have like another 5 hour flight or something, I think it's just like that part, especially now that I'm, in my 30s, I feel it, and I have had to like kind of learn how to take better care of myself, and yeah, like we really forget that we're athletes. People think that that sounds ridiculous, but we are. I mean, we're using our bodies. Our bodies are instruments, and it's like even playing a 3 hour opera. I was asked in January to play at the Paris Opera in Bastille, Wagner opera, which is 5 hours long.
Wow. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
long time to be playing nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, of course you have like little breaks and stuff, but it's a long time to be playing. It's a lot of notes to be playing. It's a long time to be sitting as well. And yeah, I realized that the best way is to like see a physical therapist regularly, to be running or doing any sort of physical activity. Even when I travel, I now like take my running shoes so that I can be staying active because I realize that that's the only way that my body is capable of like keeping up.
And is this like a common thing that violinists and musicians talk about? Like, is it like a ballerina where you only have so many good years?
No, it's not like that. I mean, we can keep playing until, I mean, there are people, my teacher is now 80 years old in Chicago and she's still playing.
Wow.
And I think she'll never stop. Like she'll be playing until the day she dies. And I think that's also what keeps her going. But, no, I mean, we can play. It's just that we like, like ballerinas, we just need to like, stretch before we play. And we often forget to do that because we don't treat ourselves like we don't take the necessary steps that they do because we don't think that we're athletes. And I think that's like the common misconception, even among musicians. And when I saw my physical therapist, he was like, yeah, you musicians, you always come to me when you have like a broken, like tendonitis, or you have like a massive problem, but you should actually be coming to me on a regular basis just to make sure that everything's okay. And kind of like Chinese medicine, sort of. And it's true, we just don't, I guess we're all just lazy. We just want to be playing music and drinking, leave us
Typical.
alone.
Yeah, typical
Um,
musicians, you like to
yeah,
party.
exactly. I mean, yeah, what? Is this recorded? No.
No, 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 no.
But yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things is just like mental health, physical health. Um, yeah, making sure that, I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard, but like musicians often have burnouts because we just either we take on too much or too much stress at once, or we just play until our bodies can't handle it anymore. And it's just like finding that happy medium, which is like so important.
Yeah, it's like any profession you can burn out, but
Yeah.
especially ones we're super passionate about. It's not like you're doing like accounting, like this is your livelihood, this is your spirit. So it's easy
Yeah.
to burn out because you are
Yeah.
addicted.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit
So,
about what it's like playing at the opera. I mean, that's such a prestigious place to be. Has like working there taught you anything different, or what are some behind the scene moments that you will never forget?
oof. I I love being a part of like a big show, like a big production. I kind of love that idea. Even if I can't always see what's happening on stage. I love the costume designs. I love the character portrayals. I love the music. And I think, I'm trying what can I say? I think what I was most surprised about at the Paris Opera is that almost every night that I play there, it's like sold out. And I think that that's just incredible. It shows that the culture in France is just so highly regarded. Um, Whereas in Chicago, I was a little bit sad that the lyric opera, for like how amazing it is, the couple of times that I went, sometimes, I mean, recently, there weren't as many people as there are here. And here it's like people are fighting to get into the opera because they just love it so much. And you have such diehard fans. And even last night we had a show, and I don't think they do this in America, but they do it here often. They have a dress rehearsal that is only allowed for under 28-year-olds. So it's like a night for young people to go to the opera. And and I think that's so amazing. It was sold out last night. Like it was packed to the brim of young people. Like it was just even incredible to look out and you think classical music is only for old people. And you look out and you see like how many 20-year-olds were in the audience. And we got like a standing ovation and they were screaming like they were at a rock concert afterwards. And it was like all the musicians were like, ah, that's so cool. Like I don't know, it kind of gave me hope that, like, no, it's not a dying art. It's going to keep going. And look how meaningful it is to, like, so many people.
Yeah, I love that. Like you said, like in France, the arts are really appreciated and supported, and
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Yes. 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 So, yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
last night was pretty special for me already.
yeah, to see all these 20-year-olds like freaking out, like you said, like a rock concert.
Yeah. Like, it was insane.
Standing
So,
ovation. That's so fun.
yeah.
And what's something people misunderstand about classical musicians today, you think?
Um, I mean, I think, yeah, like I just said, that it's really stuffy and it's for old people. I think that's really a misunderstanding of music. I have a friend who's a lawyer, and he said to me, I don't like classical music. I don't know classical music. And I said, well, I'm playing a concert, chamber music, so it's just five of us. Come and like let me know what you think. I'm really curious. And he came and he was like, I loved it. That was so much fun. Like you guys, kind of like what we said earlier in the podcast, like he could feel our rhythm and our emotion and how badly we wanted to like rock out and just like make music together and jam. And he was like all there for it, and we've had several concerts since, and he's been at every single one of them. And so like I feel like yes, classical music is often in the big concert halls, but there are other places to hear classical music as well. And like that's one of my projects, is bringing classical music to the masses and to people who won't necessarily buy a ticket to the opera, for example. But like maybe they would go to an art gallery. And so yeah, I started this collective that's called M Sphere. And we're five musicians, and we're collaborating with this art gallery, Gallery Univers, in the 11th district in Paris. And I feel like that's our way of connecting to people who haven't discovered classical music yet. And are willing to discover classical music in an art gallery in a place that is relaxed and not pretentious. We're not wearing we're not wearing suits, we're not wearing black, we're wearing kind of like everyday clothes. We're talking about our music before we play so that people can understand it better. Um, we're also pairing it with wine, so there's also that incentive. But yeah, I feel like there's a common misconception with classical music that it's really for people who know it. And even if you don't know classical music, you can discover it and you can love it and you can feel it. Like people don't even think about it, but like classical music is in all the films. Like any film that you love, there's classical music in it, and it probably makes the most epic scene the best. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah,
And
it brings the emotion.
exactly. I once watched a horror film without music, and I was like, wait, this isn't scary because everything in a horror film is music and it's strings and it's brass and it's the drum. Like, I mean, it's everything. Um, and like Beethoven quartets, you can say they're stuffy, but like some of the best scenes, even in Batman, I think there's Opus 18 number 1, the second movement. It's like the most beautiful music. And like maybe you're not conscious of it, but it's there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I think this project that you're doing is so fantastic for that reason. It's like everyone can enjoy classical music and have some wine, and it doesn't have to just be, like you said, for the elite, for the rich.
Yeah,
Like it can be
exactly.
like
It's
any everyday
casual.
concert. Yeah, it can be just fun.
Yeah, exactly. And we can talk about it afterwards. And like, if you hate it, that's okay. We can talk about it. But at least you're coming to a very open, safe space, and open to discovering it.
Definitely. Well, I think that is a beautiful note to end on. And where can
Yeah.
people learn more about your music, about this new project, and follow along?
I mean, we have a website, so you can look up Msphere, msphereparis.com, .net, sorry. I have a website. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, just like the World Wide Web.
The World Wide Web. Well, we'll share all of that in the show notes. And thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.